Hi everyone, welcome. It's Connie-Rae. Thank you for joining me. Today's tutorial, I have got this gorgeous card using the Paisley and Posies stamp set and dies from Stampin' Up. This is the set. You've probably seen lots and lots of them because it is very popular, but it is so pretty. It's a lovely set to play with. I love it. We're using the little flowering stamp here. Let me just see if I can get that clearer for you. So I'm going to use that one there. Beautiful detail, and it comes out like this. So you'll be able to see how beautiful the detail is. It's absolutely stunning. So I'm using this stamp set along with the dies, using that particular flower and the die that goes with it. The other stamp set that I'm using is not a Stampin' Up one. That's this one here. It says Big Hugs. This is by Lawn Fawn, and it's called Big and Scripty. And I've purchased online the stamp set, and I also purchased the dies that actually go with it. So with this stamp set, which is Big and Scripty by Lawn Fawn, it's got these gorgeous big words, and it's also got the dies that match and cut it out, so that's really handy. I don't get anything for saying that, so I'm just telling you that's what I've used. So if you're looking for it, I do find that this is the words are just great. They're a really good size, and the dies just cut the words out. I do tend to stamp the words, and then I cut them out, and then I just do another white die cut and attach it to the back of the original one so that it gives it a little bit of depth, or you can just use foam, whatever your preferences are. But that's what I've done to do that, in terms of my sentiment. That's how I've done it. So that's the ones that I've used. The other thing I've used is also from Lawn Fawn, and that is this die. And this die is a stitch die. If you can look on the edge there. Yep. Not going to focus, but anyway, it's a stitch die, and it's actually cutting out the, if you look here, let me see if I can get this in focus. Not very good at focusing these things, am I? Okay, there you go. You can see the edges are completely completely stitched on the 5 by 3 1/4 mat that I've got, and it's gone all the way around, and basically it just cuts it out, and then you can use that, and it's got the stitching. Speaking of stitching, Stampin' Up! Has just released on the 1st of this month some dies which are circles, squares, and ovals, I think. I'm not sure if there's ovals. Yeah, there is ovals. I was just thinking stars for some reason, but maybe not. But anyway, they've just released, which is really unusual. They just out of the blue just come out and said we're releasing this as a one-off, and it's $50 for the set, and the sizes look really good, and they're all stitched. So if you haven't got any, you might want to look at getting that, because stitched edges are just gorgeous. They really do complement your creation, and they give it that little bit of elegance and a little bit of style and interest for your product. Well, for your creation, I should say. So if you enjoy the stitched edge, Stampin' Up! Has just released it on the 1st of November, so you can get it till to the end of this month. It's only for a month, I believe, but I'm not quite sure. But just go to stampityourself.com, go up to the shop 24/7, just click on the link, it'll take you straight into the shop, and you'll be able to see up in the left-hand corner in the column right up the top, there is the stitch dies there listed. So you can buy them straight away online and just check out like you do normal purchases online, per se. So yeah, I'm waiting for mine to arrive. Really excited. Okay. What else did I use? Okay, the other thing that I've used is our sequences, which are in the holiday catalogue. I've used, obviously, the stamp set, Paisley and Posies, which is, you've probably seen around. I'm not the first person to bring it out, that's for sure. I've seen lots of different variations, but I particularly like the flower. It was really, really sweet. The ink that I have used is, you can use in this particular instance, I've used a different one at the moment, and I'll tell you why in a second. But the ink that you can use is Indigo Island, Crushed Curry, and, well, you can use this is more like a purple. I've used actually a distressed ink called Sealess Preserves, which is a Ranger ink. But if you haven't got that, you could use like the classic blueberry. I think it's the classic, sorry guys, rich raspberry. that looks pretty close to the color, so you could use that one as well. There's nothing wrong with using any of those. I just grabbed the ones that I thought I could get at the time. So yes, so then basically I've attempted to do some watercoloring. Now I'm not sure if I'm 100% happy with it, but I am happy with it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to get on and just show you how I made the card. It's really easy to make. Like I said, when it comes to, I've done a lot of preparation already. So when it comes to stamping, I have used Memento ink to do this. Scripted big hugs, and that's my sentiment that I'm using. I've stamped it with Memento. I've used the die to cut it out, and then I used an extra white one and stuck it onto the back, basically, just to give it a bit of dimension, give it a bit of thickness, so that when it sits on your card, it's got a bit of height. So there you go with that. So I'll just get on with the watercoloring. So like I said, this is just your normal card, which is 11 by 4 1/4. And this is the mat that's cut out from that particular die. But if you haven't got that die, you can still do the mat, which is 5 and 3 3/4. So when it comes to the watercoloring, I'm sort of, I think I used too much. I'm a bit heavy-handed, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Basically, you just get a block like this. This is how you do it. You just get your ink. In this instance, I'm using the Salty Ocean. You just stamp it down like that. You can see the little block there. That's more than enough to do water and colour with. This is Seedless Preserves. Stamp that down there, and I've also used an old one, which from Stampin' Up, which is no longer available, but you can use crushed curry instead. This was Summer Starfruit. I still have that one, but you could use that as a substitute for the yellow. That's fine. So yeah, give it a go because I know it's really popular at the moment. And so I'm looking for something I've dropped, but it's okay. It's very popular at the moment, the watercoloring, but if you're too heavy-handed, it can sort of like look a little bit funny. So I'm just going to do very lightly. I don't even know if you can see it. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Just very lightly do some watercoloring. Because if you're not careful, you can warp your card and all that. So, and then it can look too heavy. So I'm trying not to do that. But, you know, practice makes perfect, as they say. And it is worth experimenting with because it is fun and it does look nice. If you haven't got any sort of like solutions, I think I need a bit of water. You need your aqua pen for this too, or a jar of water, whatever you've got. So I don't want it to be too heavy and overshadow my my little flowers, because my flowers are, the flowers themselves are really pretty, and I don't want to lose that kind of look, if that makes sense. I don't want to take anything away from the flowers, so you don't want to overwhelm your picture. Ooh, that's very yellow, isn't it? Oh well, that's good. I'll just water that out a bit. There we go. So there you can see it's just kind of really light and just blend it in a bit. Like I said, practice. That's all you have to do is just practice until you're happy with it. But it does look nice. It's got a place. It's definitely got a place in what I'm doing in our crafting, I'm sure. But I'm just going to have to play a little bit more with it. But this is the first time I've actually done one live, and I've liked what I've seen online with people, and they've done their watercoloring. And it's the way that they've done it. It isn't overpowering. It's really pretty. So I'm sort of hanging on the edge of that one. I'll see how I go. All right, so that should do for now. Okay, so with that out of the way, and of course then you're going to stick down with your dimensionals, and here we go. I popped a dimensional behind each flower because I wanted the height. Most definitely wanted the height. I'll put this one, I put the rich raspberry one down first, and then I use the other one. I use that as a guide to place it. So I'm sort of lining it up as I go. So it's a really easy card to do, a little bit of cutting and preparation, but it's still a very pretty card to do, and it's an all occasions card too, because it doesn't really matter what, it's got big hugs. So unless you don't like the person you're giving it to, which I doubt, because you certainly wouldn't be giving it to somebody that you don't like. You never know. So I'm just going to go in here and just do a little bit more. This is the other thing that you can do too, is just, you know, go up behind what you've already got down if you wanted to, and just do a little bit of touching up. I did that on my practice one, and I kind of liked it. I liked it doing it this way than I did doing it the other way, because it sort of was more for me it was more craftsy, if that makes sense. But I felt like I was painting something, but you know, yeah, there we go. Anyway, interesting. There we go. So then we've got that down. Now with this one I've actually used dimensionals to pop my sentiment on, to give it a bit of height, because I don't want it to be completely flat, because my flowers aren't flat. So I've snipped. There's a couple of places you can use to mask the actual dimensionals, which is handy, without anybody seeing it, which is super. Might as well take that off before I even put it on, because I'll never get it off otherwise. So I can pop one there, so you won't see this through. And there's another one that I can put over there. Okay. And whoop, over here, this one decides it wants to go where it wants to go. There we go. So we've got two there, and you can't see these through here, which is fantastic. And just lining it up so it's all in proportion. And then of course some dimensionals on the back. I think if you're really interested in watercoloring, there's a couple of people that I actually watch online. Jennifer Maguire is one of them. She's fantastic, amazingly talented. Christina Warner is another one. Is it Christina? Yes, Christina Warner. I watch them, and they do a lot when it comes to watercoloring and things like that. And they're American, and I watch their websites. There's a lot of people I actually do watch, but in saying that, they've got some great tutorials there that you can actually look at and think, oh, well, that's how they do that. Okay, so you know, like everything, we're all still learning. So there you go. I think that's just about done it. Oh, we've got to add on some sequins, which is from this is what? Fancy Frost sequins. These are lovely sequences. And these are from the holiday catalogue, as they say. Christmas catalogue, basically, if you're in Australia. Okay. I'm just going to stick a couple on randomly, if there is such a thing. I don't think when it comes to placement. And I've just used some Tombow here to actually adhere them with, just to make sure that they stay, because I was mucking around with my little fine tooth, what do you call it, this one here, which is really, really good, but I was mucking around with it and I damaged the top of the tip. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. So and I put two on, didn't I? I think I was looking at probably doing, let me just bring you back online before you fade out of me. One more. maybe one more. Why not? 15-minute tutorial. That's not bad, is it? I'll cut back on my gibbering a bit. We'll just put one down there. There we go. All done. So that's it. That's really, really easy card to do, but absolutely gorgeous. The colours look beautiful. They are gorgeous colours, and it is a really cute card. And because you can use any sentiment you want down the bottom. It's the flowers and the connection and the way that the flowers all go together and just cutting them out and the perfection that comes from that. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to be back soon with another tutorial. Do give it a try. It's really pretty, and of course you can put Merry Christmas on there too, don't forget. Christmas cards no longer have to have Santa on them if they don't want to. And good luck with your watercolouring. I hope you give it a bit of a go, because I think it's certainly something that I'm going to keep trying and hopefully perfect over time. So you may see another tutorial with it in again, and hopefully I will be just that little bit better. But anyway, as I say, practice makes perfect, as they say. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you soon with another tutorial. Bye for now.